Hey everyone, thank you for joining How to Write Shoes Manufacturing with Pathpoint. I'm Liz Duranya, I'm the head of marketing here at Pathpoint. You may have seen my colleague Alex Hickson on these in the past. She is off today, so I'm covering for her. Want to remind everybody that they can put in any questions into the Q&A section, which you can access at the bottom of your screen, and Craig will get to them later in the presentation. And with that, I will hand it off to Craig Johnson, who is a product manager here at Pathpoint.
Awesome. Thanks, Liz. Hi, everybody. Thanks for taking the time to join us today. Hope to provide you insights on some of our new products in manufacturing, specifically today on shoes and footwear. So we'll go through some of the coverages available, the carriers on the platform, and then walk through on footwear, the eligible, ineligible products in the submission flow, and then overall look at the different kinds of businesses that are eligible for the manufacturing program. And then we'll do a demo walkthrough, show you a quote and how that all looks, take a look at what's up next for manufacturing and for Pathpoint. And then, as Liz mentioned, do a Q&A. I want to make this as informative for everyone as possible. So add your questions and happy to answer them at the end. So we'll look through here at the coverages that are currently available. So it's general liability offering with limits up to $1 million, $2 million per occurrence in aggregate. And so that does include products liability to confirm there. So the quotes that are provided through Pathpoint will provide up to the $2 million product completed operations aggregate, which protects the businesses against claims, lawsuits, legal fees, etc. So provides that critical coverage for manufacturers, anyone selling products. We'll go through the eligible businesses here, but kind of that key coverage there for them. The deductibles starting at just $500 for shoes for most classes on the platform are going to be starting at $500 minimum premiums up to $25,000. So it can handle a range of business sizes. And then additional insured vendors that we'll walk through. There's an FAQ on that at the end, but that is available on a scheduled basis and blanket basis for all class codes. Some carriers have different restrictions on class codes there, but across the board, you'll always be able to get at least one quote for eligible submissions for products. The carriers on the platform, two of our great partners here, Nautilus and Markel, A+ and A rated from AM Best. Both have been around for a very long time and have strong capabilities here in the technical space too. And excited to partner with both of them to be able to provide quotes here on Pathpoint. In terms of the types of shoes, footwear that are eligible to quote on Pathpoint, to the count, it's 238 that are currently available to auto quote within minutes. We'll show an example here in the submission flow. The numbers here next to each footwear type relates to the number of those types of shoes that are eligible to auto quote. So you can get a feel for the different types of shoes. You'll see a little bit more in the demo, just breaking out all the different types of options for you. So when it comes to some of the higher hazard types of shoes, which we'll get to, you're confident in terms of putting a submission in for any type of footwear and knowing if it's eligible or ineligible, excuse me. As I mentioned here, some of the ineligible products, type of footwear that are not in scope here. Some of the Q&A in the app will confirm these items, but some of these here listed here, anything related to more ice skates, footwear, rollerblades, roller skates, ski boots, snowboard boots, anything more sporting equipment, not, see the list here on the athletic shoes, but any of these here specifically listed are ones that are not in appetite. In terms of the types of eligible businesses, this includes a wide range of types of businesses. Anything from in-home based businesses are perfectly eligible for shoes, for footwear, for other class codes on manufacturing as well. And then it also can include commercial manufacturers, contract manufacturers, as well as those doing just maybe relabeling, repackaging, And then important here too, importers. So anyone doing importing of shoes, footwear products, those businesses are eligible if they're not doing the manufacturing themselves, but they are importing these. The manufacturing class code will contemplate that, and then for each carrier, their eligibility is built in. And for footwear, both are eligible. Both the carriers are have importers of footwear as eligible submissions. It also includes new ventures and new businesses. Those are perfectly eligible as well. And then gross sales up to $5 million is the threshold here. So we'll jump over to a demo. I've got one set up, and we'll do you'll see all of these fields that will get populated as we go. To submission flow, I'll type in the name insured information. We have I mentioned the new businesses will collect the year established, but that won't have any impact on the eligibility. And then a number of general questions in terms of if products have had recall in the past, and provide more information there. Anything like that will refer into our underwriting team, and they'll take a look at it. For this demo, I'll make these questions here in terms of prior coverage, losses, all to lend themselves to auto quote here. And let's go to the next page. So I selected the footwear class code. I'll jump over to in a second. But as you can see here, you have some of the items that were prohibited on the slides. Figure skates, ice skates, confirm it's not any of those. And then here from anything from wheeled shoes, the rocker sole shoes, confirm that it's none of those items as well. So in terms of the eligible products here, you can choose from the different type of footwear that that your applicant has. So for example, here in this, you saw sandals, flip-flops, and slides. Now you have the ability to select certain types. If I want sandals, T-strap sandals, and hiking sandals, I can select those. I'll do flip-flops here. And then the same thing applies for anything like athletic shoes. You have anything from baseball cleats, cheerleading shoes down the list. Each of these will have the carrier eligibility built in as well. And so all of these are pre-approved by the carriers. Some won't quote for certain carriers, but across the board, almost all of these will, as you're looking through the list. So good ones to show here. To get 2 quotes, as I mentioned, one of the carriers doesn't allow some of these examples. I'm going to keep this demo here to just the sandals, but to highlight anything from dress shoes, you have this pre-filled list here of different types of dress shoes, down to loafers, you name it. Hopefully it's in here. If it's not, if it's something that's not listed in that example, we ask a question in terms of if the applicant manufactures any products other than what's listed above. So in this case, don't have a good example, but you could type in product XYZ, have it include a description, include the website. You can upload any documents that helps our underwriting team review the submission. And so this similarly will go to a referral process to our underwriting operations team to review, confirm if it's a fit, if it's eligible or not, get a quote, take the appropriate next steps there. For this example, I'll select these 3 flip-flop sandals, T-strap sandals, and keep those in mind. As you'll see at the end here, all those products will be confirmed on the carrier quotes and in the subjectivities process. There's a question on importing. As I mentioned, I think for both carriers here, it's eligible. I'm just going to put no to get 2 auto quotes. I think for one carrier, it does refer, just to make sure here. And for the gross sales, we'll put in $1 million to get a couple quotes. Put in the effective date. And then if I want to change any limits here, I'm going to go with the pre-filled ones, including the $2 million product completed operations limit. There are a number of additional insured options that are available, including the additional insured vendors. So you can include how many you need. If it's 4 or 5, a lot of times the system will provide you in the API with the best price. So if it's something that is for, that makes sense to do with the carrier on a blanket basis, we'll include a blanket offering, where if it's something like 3 or 2, it'll be scheduled, but it'll always be the most cost effective for the applicant. There's also some other ancillary ones here too, but I think additional insured vendors being the most important to call out. You have a chance to review all the information that was just submitted. So as I mentioned, we selected flip-flops, sandals, T-strap sandals. Go to look at our markets that are available. Both are in appetite, so I hope to get 2 quotes back here in this live demo. But at this point, all of the information is being submitted to Markel, to Nautilus. It passed through the rules engine on Pathpoint side that reflects each carrier's appetite. And so you can see here, we'll start getting quotes back for Markel and for Nautilus. And we'll take a look at one of the quotes here for Markel. And you can see here the name insured, mailing address, and the premium calculated from Markel, as well as a review of the limits, the deductible, look at the exposure, confirming that $1 million that we put in, as well as the designated products that would ultimately go onto the policy, confirming those ones that were selected, where we'll take that selection, send it to the carrier in the API. They'll include that on the quote letter. It'll become a part of the binding documents. And so when you go to bind, if I want to select this option for Markel, as one of the steps here for manufacturing is to confirm the products that are scheduled on the policy. And so you can either type confirmed or type those there. And so that's one of the steps in the process here to confirm exactly what types of footwear. So when you complete all of the subjectivities required to bind, which actually I'll go ahead and do here just to show that off, because it is a cool feature. I'll start the e-sign process. Oops. So yeah, I'll put the name of the individual here. With the business owner, or I guess I'll do an example where it's not me. It's John Doe, and he's the business owner here for the manufacturing client. So the e-sign packet's being generated. I can then open it up, both myself and the insured can both sign on the same document. So it includes all of the information that was input on the submission for both yourselves and for the business owner to sign off on. And so you can start the signing process. It also includes, I'll highlight it here after we go through the signatures, but includes the supplemental process here. Actually, I skipped over it too fast, but I'll be able to show it, I think. Not to it within that e-sign packet that was signed, I should have slowed down a little bit, but it includes all the information that was included on here. That becomes the supplemental application. And so that is also a signature part that are signed off on, both those in terms of replacing the existing, but the traditional kind of supplemental application that exists in most cases. So digitizing all that information, providing it all in one place for both yourselves and the business owners to sign off on it, and avoid any duplication of inputting information, signing documents, having to scan things in. It's all here. It's all, it all goes after the process. After this is all confirmed, you can request to bind. That goes to our underwriting team. They review the bind, confirm all the items here that were provided. As long as everything looks good to go, you can get coverage bound in a very quick and efficient manner. I'm going to jump back to the slideshow here just to walk through a couple FAQs. I walked through this one here more for purposes of a deck, a slide presentation, but just to highlight here what happens if a product's not listed, as well as what the options are. We covered these in the demo that are available for additional insureds. And then in terms of, I didn't do in the demo here, I can pull up here just to highlight it. just to show. The manufacturing, some of the class codes that are now available. So we do now have live beverages, including beer, fruit juice, liquor, soft drinks, candles, clothing and footwear, the footwear which we just went through, as well as cosmetics, food products, and leather and artificial leather goods. So some of those examples here, as I mentioned, for cosmetics, for candles, for leather goods, clothing, you can see some of the examples in terms of products within those categories that are eligible to get quotes today in Pathpoint. For cosmetics, anything from lotions, body wash, conditioner, any kind of cosmetic product you could think of. It's most of them are available within Pathpoint, as well as wax candles. Soy candles do require a referral. For leather, artificial leather goods, anything from purses, belts, gloves, miscellaneous types of accessories, backpacks are fit for Pathpoint and the carriers today. And then clothing, you can see here anything that's not like safety clothing, sporting related, in terms of providing protection, nothing like that. And then for food products, we'll do separate webinars on food and beverages and for clothing, which I just mentioned. But just to give a sneak preview of some of the types of food, beverage products here that are available to quote today on Pathpoint. For beverages, there's also kombucha. So a lot of the different types of products that if any of the, in terms of the eligible types of businesses we looked at before, home-based businesses, if it's more of an established type of business manufacturing these types of products, we'll be able to provide quick quotes for all of these listed products here. I'll look at what is up next for upcoming webinars. I mentioned here the food and beverages and clothing. So the dates here, the food and beverages being in about 2 weeks here on the 21st. And then a couple weeks after that, we'll do a clothing webinar, followed by food trucks towards the middle of March, which will feature a new offering, which we're very excited about as well, where it will be an offering that provides GL and an optional inland marine coverage too for food trucks. So definitely stay tuned for these webinars and more as we continue to add more products that are hopefully of high value to yourselves, and appreciate feedback too in terms of as we continue to build these class codes. Your feedback is very important here too. So I want to make sure that we're building the right types of products here that are relevant for you. So want to always collect your feedback through whatever channel that might be, especially through your account managers, sharing their feedback. They're sharing that feedback to us. And so taking all of that into consideration as we continue here. As Liz mentioned, there is a Q&A, I think a request here. So if you haven't already, submit any questions, you can do so on the Zoom thing, screen bar here where we have the Q&A. If you want to type in anything, happy to answer anything related to today's presentation and go answer any questions that anyone has. So Liz, I'm gonna hand it back to you. If questions have come through, just to make sure that I'm reading or seeing them correctly, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think we have no questions that have come through, Craig. But if anyone does have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to your account manager. You can also find us via the live chat, and we also have a help center at help.pathpoint.com. You can access that from our homepage, pathpoint.com, and get the information that you need quickly and easily. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we hope to see you next time. Have a great rest of your week.